abundance, confidence, freedom. These are all the things all of us are chasing in one form or another. We ask ourselves, how do I manifest more abundance? How do I become more confident? How do I finally feel free? But the real path to all three of these states of being, it's not by adding anything, it's by letting go. Because manifestation and identity shifting is about embodiment of the outcome you desire as a state of being before it actually happens. And embodiment really starts with subtraction, with peeling away all the layers that are not in alignment with who you really are. So the question really isn't, what else do I need to do to experience more abundance, confidence, and freedom? The question is, what part of me needs to change in order to live that way? Because perhaps you don't have to become someone new to attract abundance, confidence, freedom, or any other state of being. Instead, perhaps you just have to stop rehearsing the version of you who feels unworthy of them. So in this video, I want to share with you a simple 5-step framework that you could use to reverse engineer your path to abundance, confidence, and freedom, not by adding more, but by releasing what's in the way. So step number 1, it all begins with identifying the version of you that no longer fits in your life right now. So ask yourself, what patterns, beliefs, or habits feel out of sync with the future that you want to live? Maybe it's a version of you that always apologizes for wanting more. Maybe it's the one who confuses productivity and achievement with self-worth. Maybe it's the one who says you're bad with money, or you always feel out of place when you're in certain situations or around certain people. Whatever it is, name it, because the first act of change is simply seeing the mismatch, naming the identity who no longer needs to run the show in your life. Step number 2, choose one part of that identity to release. So what's one trait, one pattern, one emotional reflex you're ready to stop tolerating about yourself? So we're not looking to rebuild ourselves overnight here. We're starting with one thing, one aspect of ourselves, something small perhaps. Because when you start with just one thing to release, your nervous system can track the progress, so to speak. Because you're not overloading it and overwhelming it with all these different things that you need to change. You're starting with something small, a single thing. And with only one thing to shift, your body can begin to trust that it is safe to change. So for example, you might say, I'm letting go the part of me that feels I'm not good enough. I'm letting go the part of me that always compares myself to others. I'm releasing the habit of always saying yes when I mean no. Name that one thing to release. Small release, big ripple. Okay, step number 3. So you've chosen one part of that old identity to release. So now you have to get clear on how that part of yourself shows up in your life. Where do you notice it? In your language, in your posture, in the way that you speak to yourself, certain relationships, particular situations and circumstances. Get clear on the specific ways this old part of yourself emerges. So the power here of this step is not the story behind the old part of yourself. It's in the simple awareness. Consciousness breaks autopilot ways of being. And once you understand how that pattern shows up, you can then spot it in real time. And that's the ultimate goal here. Because when you can catch it in real time, when you can notice it in real time, in the moment when it's happening, it loses its power to define you. And that takes us to step number 4. So when you're in the moment and when you notice that old pattern emerging, you make the conscious decision to disrupt it. So when you feel that old loop rising, when that old way of being emerging, you pause, you take a breath, perhaps you put your hand on your heart, you feel your body in the moment, and you choose differently. And this is the mistake a lot of people make. They think they need to change the difficult feeling or the difficult emotion when it arises. But instead, all we have to really do is just interrupt its momentum. We don't need to change the thought. We don't need to change the feeling. We just need to interrupt the pattern. And every time you do that, it becomes a tiny win, a micro step towards the future self who already lives freely, confidently, and in abundance. And that's what we're doing here. We're stacking up tiny wins every time we disrupt the old way of being. You can think of it like a train that's coming into the station and it's ready to leave the station. That train is the old patterns. Your job is to stop the train before it leaves the station. And finally, step number 5, at the end of the day, we reflect on how we did. We gently look on when the old identity emerged and if and when we were able to disrupt it. But most importantly, we drop into gratitude and embodiment. We evoke gratitude for doing this process and that this limitation is leaving us. And you can do that by simply closing your eyes and asking yourself and imagining, what would it feel like if the universe took this limitation from me and it was gone? Imagine going to bed tonight and waking up tomorrow morning with this limitation out of your life, dissolved, released, and gone. How grateful would you feel? Even beyond just that limitation, how would it feel if all your needs were met, that you were never in lack? Can you imagine that? Can you tap into that feeling? Let yourself feel that state, even for just 30 seconds, every night before you go to bed. That feeling, that relief, is the vibration your new identity lives in. That's the feeling of abundance, confidence, and freedom. So friends, let this be enough. Let this be the way you shift your identity, to remember yourself into your natural state of abundance, confidence, and freedom. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to stop tolerating one part of the old story. And then your new self, the self you're growing into, can lead the way. You'll be surprised how this one simple practice can send ripples through your current reality and open you up to the possibilities waiting on the other side. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next video.